One day wonder. Gee whiz, every time I hit the record. One day wonder. So here's the thing. Okay, one day wonder. If Shop dives to the lows, look out. Shop has led Amazon. It moves before Amazon. What does that mean? If Shop moves, let's say Shop takes out 1,000 at the open, 1,100 at the open, then Amazon goes lower 10 or 15 minutes later. It's led it. Go look. You can pull your charts up or whatever. I don't look at charts, but I just know I can see things happening and I correlate them. Okay? That's what we know. Wow. So much stuff. Omen, what do you got? And we'll get going. There it is. Hold on. Melly first quarter GAAP EPS minus 68 misses by 63 cents, and it's up. Oh, but beats revenues by 220? Interesting. So, but here's the thing. Remember, Amazon was up. Remember, Shop was up. Going to keep an eye on Melly 1500s. If this thing goes negative, it's going to drop another 150. Okay, continue. Go ahead. Sorry.
Looks like they bought some Bitcoin as well. But Melly is crazy, right? I mean, it traded 480 shares up 27. So that pre-market thing doesn't tell you anything right now. You have to wait for the open and see what happens. As far as everything Sam went through, we just have to wait for the jobs number this Friday and see what the numbers and how the market reacts to it, and go from there. But the market is just in a very tight range, acting very complacent. Rotation still happening, and so I don't know. We'll have to see. Other than that, it's somewhat quiet. But when you look at like Twilio and Roku and some of these other names, I mean the numbers are just eye popping. Even at these levels, I mean like Twilio and Roku are just all very similar. They're trading 20 times sales.
Okay, one question. Do you know how much profit Twilio made? I mean, actual dollars.
No, I mean, I think they lost, right? Twilio, let me see here. I mean, they lost 14, well, they're going to lose like, $4 for 2021.
So here's, I posted this yesterday and people were asking me about it last night. I forgot I would talk about it real quick. So let me get to that. So the way, I don't use PE, I use something like a PE, but I use real dollars. So let's say Omen has a business and it's worth $5 billion, okay? And let's say he has 1 million shares outstanding, whatever it is, and he works number of earnings per share. But I don't care about the earnings per share. I just care about the real dollars. Did he make $1 million, okay? And if he's at a 50% growth rate a year, the next year he's going to make $2 million. The following year, he's going to make $4 million. The following year, $8 million. The following year, $16 million. So in 5 years, if you add the 16, 8, 4, 2, 1, you remember this stuff from way back when, right? You're at, let's say, I don't even know what the number is, $32 million. Okay? Then you make $32 million in year 6. Then you make $64 million. Then you make $128 million. Okay? So in 10 years, he's made $1 billion. Profit. This is cash. Forget the reinvestment. So now he has $1 billion. So in 10 years, but why is the company worth $5 billion? He still hasn't made $5 billion cash. Oh, because he's going to make it in 10 years or 12 years? Well, most companies don't even survive 10 years. So that's how I value companies. That's true value. That's why I say Roku's worth 50. They're never going to make money to justify where they are. It shouldn't even be $50. Same thing with Peloton. Okay? That's how I do it. That's why I asked Omid what Twilio...
They're not going to make any money when I look at it, Twilio, past 2024. It's crazy. So, I mean, when you look at, like, the net income, right?
So what is Twilio worth? What's the market cap?
It's like, is it 60 billion or something? So
how long will it take them to make 60 billion in cash?
Yeah, I mean that's
20,
that's
30.
insane.
That,
I
that
usually
tells you Twilio is not even worth 10 billion. It's not even worth $10 billion.
look at their sales number, right? So like they make the 2.5 billion this year, right? Just gross sales numbers, right?
Yeah, but gross
Because
sales don't matter. That's all fake. That's all fudgy. That's all fudgy. Your
well, no,
revenue doesn't
that's
matter.
real revenues that they make. Now, the reason why I look at that is because, okay, well, if they spend less or whatever, they can like make that into profit. There's a lot you can do with that. So the real number is the sales number. How much are you selling? How much are you basically selling? Gross sales. So 2.5 billion that they make this year, it's 60 billion. I mean, that's more than 20 times revenue, and they're not going to even get there until 2025, where it's going to be 6 billion. So in 10 years, they'll be 10 times basically revenue. I mean, some of these numbers are just iPod. These names they're going to be rotated out of guys like names like Roku and Twilio and
Yeah. Well, here's
so,
the thing, Albert. So let's say, and here's the thing, and I know I got a message here. I said, Sam, but it's about the growth rate. But here, it's not. You know why it's not? Because in a 5-year period, every company growth rate goes down. Every company, the law of bigger numbers.
it's a fast-moving market. I mean, you could have competition. Lots of things can happen.
Exactly. So it changes. So, but think about it. If if Twilio is worth 60 billion, and they're not even going to net cash for 5 years, how is the stock not $100? Oh, wait a second, Sam. It was $100 before all this started. Interesting, right? Interesting. Okay, let's get going. Good morning, everybody. 5-6. I hope you learned stuff today. Okay, a lot of stuff before we started recording. Sorry about that. Epic. Okay, SPX about even, doing nothing, all about the jobs tomorrow. My theory, if the jobs go over 1 million, they're going to sell text like you can't believe. They're going to say taper is coming. Doesn't mean it's coming. It doesn't matter what Powell says. They're going to believe it's coming. Okay? If they believe it coming, they will sell text. Okay? So over 1 million dives the text. Doesn't mean SPX creators. They buy the other stuff. Okay, then we see zoom, 291, 282, 282 can be fast. LRCX, right back down. I told you yesterday the 610s were 6. They can go to 20. I posted it 3 times. They're going to open at 9, 10, 6 to 10, just like that. Trading 101. Under 598 is 591. NVIDIA, working lower. Get the $800 target, and it's up $4. Wow. 571, 552. Shop. 1092, 1072, 1031 needs 1200 to be better. Roku. If it takes out 298 today, it can try 291. But here's the thing. If it fails 291, if they guide down or they miss 250, 222, there was this Friday, way back, when the stock was 172 and it had dropped to 120. It came out from earnings and it went from 120, actually 126, it went to 90. So it dropped 35 points. On a $120 stock, it dropped 25 points. So now you times that by 2.5, 35 by 2.5, that's 70 plus 20, that's 90. That means Roku can drop $90 from here. That gets us to our Sam's number, 220. If they miss, now I'm not saying they're going to miss. Baidu, working lower. This was 120 before COVID started. Here's the thing. Baidu came out and said, I'm going to build a car, because these clowns are saying, oh my God, everybody's building an autonomous car. Let's take them up 250 points. It goes from 120 to 370 for building a car. Interesting. A car that nobody's going to buy, A car that's not going to be out there for years. Amazing. 223 Beast. Melly. Earnings came out. It's up a little bit. It's not up a lot. Gonna look at the 1,500 puts on this early. Probably may or may not get them. If techs collapse and this drops, it's got 1350 written all over it. If it does what Shop does, it will be 1350. Now, not buying anything yet, just looking. Twilio. Ugly, 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 ugly. We just did the math on it. Okay, 291, 252. Apple, working lower. 126, 123. FSLY, 41, 38. Stamp needs 209, but it doesn't matter. All about earnings. TTD, underneath 609 is 551. Wow. Goldman Sachs, moving up, moving up. 361, 366. Amazon. Yesterday, 3266. Hell, 3266, 3200. ISRG. Let it go lower. Let it go lower. Then we'll buy it. OIH looks better. 206, 211. Facebook. Ugly, ugly. 309, 301. Google. Strongest of the strong, but not great. Looks like a 50-point move either way. End of tomorrow. Let's see. No real numbers here. It's all about the market. Snow. Looks like 209, 201, 191. Tesla needs 686 in the first 10 minutes. If it doesn't get 686, just remember, very interesting. Lam Research, sold out. AMAT, sold out. Micron, sold out. AMD, sold out. Everybody sold out. Everybody went lower that said they're sold out. Interesting, interesting. And then we see Peloton. Peloton looks like 70 is coming. Looks like death. PayPal, great earnings. PayPal, here's the problem with PayPal, all these. These places are not going to be able to keep up with this growth rate. Okay, so just know that. Look at Square. Everybody's like, oh my God, Square's great, Square's great, Square's great. How come it's not at higher year? Interesting, interesting, interesting. Interesting, interesting. Mercado Libre news missed by 68 cents, misses by 63 cents. Interesting. IBM is held. PayPal, not a common king, great company. PayPal is great. Just, it's very high. So just know that. Melly reported a big buy in Bitcoin. Absolutely. We'll keep an eye on that. Did he sell for taxes? Maybe. Who knows why they sold? But they're selling. Production, they question on what production capacity is. Bill transferred $2 billion of wealth and stock to Melinda. What does that mean? They're capped at what they can sell. Don't know, like Airbnb. IBM chip powers efficiency. Why secondary brings stock down? Well, it shouldn't, but it does. It should be people hold it. But every secondary company that's done a secondary is getting whacked. Don't get whacked. Peloton looks like death. Don't buy death stocks. Don't buy death stocks. Let's see what happens. A million jobs takes techs lower. If it's 800,000 and they miss, then techs come back and then go lower later. Everybody have a great trading day. See you in chat.